Tried to turn the speaker towards you. Hopefully you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Like I said, it's only when the air or the heat come on, it's harder to hear you.
I will do my best not to talk when that's going.
So have you been doing this for a long time?
The PYB class has been here about 3 years,
Okay.
and then the one in Prescott's been there about a year and a half. So it's been a minute.
You seem to be really good with the kids.
I love the kids. They're so much fun. That's been here about 4.5 years.
Has it really?
Yeah. We started that first, and then we branched this off as a like a slowed down version.
Yeah.
I'll give them a few more minutes, but I don't expect many other people because it is the holiday. Some people traveled.
So what size is your classes typically for this?
When we are not in holiday season, we go 6 to 9 in this class.
So that's a good size.
Yeah, so it's nice, and it's usually a circle, and we can have fun. And the karate classes can get up to, I think the biggest one we have is 25.
Wow.
So
That's pretty good size.
they can get going pretty big.
Yeah.
We find that in the fall, people start falling off, and they come back in January, and they kind of ride.
Kind of like people who start their diet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They find their way back in January. We've already had like 5 people sign up in January. I'm like, that's just how it is sometimes. So as we're going through today's classes, we're going to have
That's right.
a lot more standing poses. So if at any point you need a break, you just shake it out, move your feet, stand up for a second. I'll probably see you doing it and probably be a cue for me to say, hey, let's take a break.
Okay.
As we go through, we'll have balance postures, and a few poses are new or haven't been shown before in class.
Okay.
So we have our foam rollers that we can use to help us.
I did find one at Target and Walmart only had
The
the
real
little
smaller ones, yeah,
and I'm like, no, I need the ones for the standing.
yeah.
And then with the roller, I get cramps in
Mm.
the back here, and I'm like, that would be good for that.
It is perfect for that, especially if you know when about the cramps are coming, you can start working it.
Because I did a lot of walking,
Yes,
and so yeah.
as you get those calf muscles cramping and hamstrings, yes. The where was I going? Oh, store, and I saw them. I was there yesterday, so.
Okay. I looked online and they didn't list them.
Uh,
That's why I went to Target because at least they listed them and they had two in the store. So
as we get out of the holidays, they'll probably restock things, and you'll probably see things starting to come back. Let's take a moment, get ourselves comfortable. You can decide to close your eyes or soften your gaze. Take the time to turn inward. When you're ready, you can slowly bring yourself back. Maybe you walk forward, just kind of bring your hands down. And pressing back up. When you're ready, and there's no rush, we'll come to a standing position at the front left corner of your mat. We're going to bring our hands together, pressing into our palms, reaching up over our head, leaning back, swan diving down, flat back, working forward. If you want to hold on to your shins, you can, or you could bring the block into play for your first fold. We're going to take the right leg back and split the left leg. Left hand goes inside of left leg. You can make any adjustments you need. Left leg back into a plank. And working yourself slowly to the ground, placing an ear on the ground, whatever side you like. Pressing into the mat, pressing up for up dog. Rolling over the toes, gently pressing back for down dog. Right leg around right hand. Split the right leg. Left leg to right, standing fold. Reverse swan dive all the way up over the top. So you're going to be turn to your right mat. So you're turning to your right on your mat. So sideways. There you go. I'm coming to you. There we go. Yep. We are going to split the legs off just like you have them. Arms are coming down nice and wide, holding a standing triangle. Gently turning that front foot towards the front. Rotating the right arm down either to the block or to the ground, whatever works for you. Holding a standing triangle. Rotating the left arm down and splitting the right leg so it's a standing fold over a triangle. Bending that right knee gently. Turning the left foot so you're facing forward. Left knee settles down. And you're lunging forward. Reversing our way back through. So rising up. Settling the back leg. Working the triangle. Right hand goes inside right leg. Left hand to the sky. If you can, feel free to float back up. And then turn back down the side of your mat so you're sideways again. There you go. Turning to the back of the room. Left foot turns away. We're going to take our left hand down inside the left leg. Right hand comes down, the left hand moves outside the left leg, so we're splitting it. Adding a bend and rotating up on the right foot so you're facing away from the center of the class. Gently working that right knee to the ground. Beginning to work in reverse, so back foot down. Plant the back leg. We still have a bend in our left leg. Slowly straightening the front leg. Left hand inside of left leg, right hand to the sky. Working to float upward, turning both feet, releasing the hands and slowly working your feet together and facing back forward. I came offline to try to help you and I wound up on the other side. Take a minute to pedal those legs out, feeling free to move. You can bring the foam roller up for any balance. With our balance postures today, we're going to add in holding on to blocks. So if you feel like there's an occasion where you have two hands and you need to balance, you can always just hold on to one block and the other hand can be your free hand to help you balance. All right, with that in mind, we're going to start in a standing fold, taking a block, whatever you'd like, folding forward. We're going to reverse swan dive with a block at least one in the hand so the block comes up over the top. Hands are holding the block over our head nice and tall. We're going to engage the left foot, so shift our weight to our left leg. Bring the right foot under and begin to work our tree base. Remember, you have that free left hand if you want to reach out. Working that tree base. When you have your base, release your hands. Left hand comes to center. It's going to take a moment. It's okay to reach over and hold. Right hand comes down, block to the middle, holding together, and release that right foot. Just index that right toe. We're going to hold the block perpendicular, so it's going to go out in front of you in a minute. We're going to half step that right foot back and slowly begin to tip forward. Moving your block to your fingertips, see if you can raise the block out in front. Slowly beginning to touch down, block back to the middle, taking a moment to still index that right toe. We're going to shift our block to our left hand, begin to reach the block towards the ground, setting the block where you'd like it to be, setting up for half moon. Bring the right hand down, and you can switch the block location so your right hand can use it. Left hand to the sky. Bringing the right foot down, both feet are to the ground. We're going to work to hold the block up and down. We're going to raise up that right leg behind us, leveling it off wherever you'd like it to be. Bringing the right foot down, bend the knees, release the block, and reverse swan dive all the way up. Hands reach the top. Take a minute, shake it out, wiggle it out. Maybe we move the foam roller to the other side so you have balance on the other side. When you're ready, go ahead and grab your block. We'll set ourselves up again. We're going to reach the block up over our head. We're going to stand on the right foot. The left legs can begin to work inside. When you find your base, release the hands. Right hand comes down. Left hand joins. Rotating the block and releasing that left foot. Index the left toe. Half step back with the left leg. And slowly beginning to tip forward. Bringing the block back, bringing the toe down, turning our block vertically, bringing your feet together and folding towards the ground. Block is down. When you're ready, raise up the left leg. Shift that block to your right hand if you're using it. If not, the right hand's on the ground, left hand to the sky for half moon. And switching hands, working for the last pose and the balance in the sequence. Hands come down, feet come together, bend the knees. Begin to slowly walk yourself up your legs. You can rest at your thighs. Maybe the hands press into the thighs. Begin to work yourself up. Leveling your head and eyes as you come up. Take a minute to pedal. It's an interesting set of sequences there. Your foam roller is going to need to be on the left side. I'll encourage the use of it on this first set so you can understand where we're going. We're going to balance on our left leg. We're going to index the right toe. That's okay. Even if you have the wrong side, it doesn't matter. It works the same. Raising up that leg, we're going to take our right hand inside our right leg, seeing if we can either grab the ankle or the toe and hold. Release the hold, but don't put the foot down. Right hand goes outside right hip. Foot rotates behind you. Right hand wants to find the right foot or the right ankle. If you want to add the left hand palm up, you can. And you can slowly tip, but you don't have to. Royal dancer. Left hand back to the body, knee comes under. When you're ready, you can release that foot. Take a moment to pedal out the legs. Amazing job so far. I've given you some new ones, and we're like, okay.
I've never seen anybody do those poses. I've seen them in books.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah, that's why we brought our friend the foam roller to help us, and we can work on them. We're going to shift our weight to our right leg, bringing up the left knee, using any balance that you need with the foam roller. Left hand goes inside of left leg. You can hold ankle, you can hold toe, whatever works for you. Releasing the left ankle. Left hand moves around left hip. Left foot starts to work behind you, working to find the left foot. You can choose to tip. You can keep your hand on a foam roller, whatever works for you. Slowly beginning to bring that knee underneath. Once you are under, release the hands, release any holdings you are, and pedal. What I often try to do is bring in different styles of yoga and poses, so those last three movements were from hot yoga, just done a different way and slowed down. We will not need the foam roller for a minute. You can move it off to the side. We'll go front left corner of our mat, hands together. Reach back with your right foot, set your crescent base. Right foot settles into your warrior base. Hips come forward. Warrior one. Left hand down, right hand back, warrior two. You don't have to look back, but know your right hand's behind you somewhere. Front hand is going to go down inside the left leg. Right hand to the sky. If this is not accessible, feel free to bring the block in. Put your hand on a block. Take the right hand, bend it, put it behind your back, holding the lower back. Slowly release that left arm. And if you want to reach through your legs, you can. This is a good place to learn just holding here. Release the hand to the ground first. Release the hand in the lower back, slowly rising back to warrior two, warrior two, warrior one, and crescent pose. Settling forward. Bring your feet together. I was setting you up for a pretzel, so by reaching through your leg, you're learning how to reach past where you think you can go.
Can you do that one again so I can see what you were doing?
So the hands down, the right hand came to the lower back, and then I had released your left hand, and I told you to reach through. So that's the reach through. The reaching around is, but for here, that's the really good start, because that helps reaching through and pulling your body through. So that's where we're going. It'll happen, trust me. Going to shake it out. You will be fine. It's a great stretch, and you get stronger as you keep doing yoga. So right front corner, shake it out for a minute. We'll set up the other side. You're right, though. You can't really see if your head's down. You can't look up to see where you're going. So I will try to give more cues.
That's okay, because I just wanted to see what you were doing.
Yep. Hands together. Let's reach back with our left. Setting our base. There it is. Settle that left foot back in your warrior base. Hips coming forward. Release the arms, warrior one. Front hand down, left hand back, warrior two. Front hand is going to reach down inside the right leg. Left arm to the sky for a moment. Take that left hand, bend it slowly, and allow it to rest on the lower back. Release that right arm and reach through. You don't have to go very far, just reaching through. Coming back inside the right leg. Releasing the left hand. When you're ready, trying to float back to warrior two. Going back to warrior one. Rotating the back foot if you can. Hands to the middle. Let's take little half steps to work ourselves all the way to standing. Take a minute to pedal that out. Amazing job. If you need a water break, feel free to take it. I was thinking about it. I was like, we haven't had a water break yet. As you're coming back, you're generally going to need 2 blocks, one on each side of your feet. You're going to stand in between the blocks, and we're going to rise up on the ball of our feet, holding on the ball of our feet. Your hands can just be relaxed at your side. Slowly lowering back to the ground. We're going to shift all our weight to our left. We're going to shift our weight backwards into the heels. Shift our weight to the right. Coming forward, leaning forward. And back to neutral. Beginning to hinge at the waist. Beginning to hinge at the waist. Slowly reaching down, those blocks come into play, resting our hands on top of the blocks for a standing fold. Back is level. Bending the knees, holding on to the top of the blocks, and rising the arms out in front as you stand all the way up. The blocks are over our head. If it bothers your shoulders, please feel free to come down to 90 degrees, whatever works for you. Working ourselves down into a chair pose. The arms naturally tend to come forward, maybe 45 degrees. Rising up over the top. Arms turn outward. Blocks go to the side. So again, standing fold. Releasing the blocks, reverse swan dive. All the way up. We'll keep our arms up this time as we extend up onto the ball of our feet. Try to be as tall as we can be. You can bring the hands down, let them rest naturally, but we are going to shift our weight to our right first. Beginning to come forward this time. We're going to start forward. Shifting your weight to your left side. back. Coming back to neutral. Pushing the hips forward, hinging forward, finding our standing fold, hands on top of the blocks. And bending the knees, holding onto the blocks, the arms come out in front, rising up, we come to full standing. Beginning to sit in a chair, working our way down, our arms are naturally going to come with us. Pressing into the heels and rising back up. Arms split off to the side. Hinging forward, back to our standing fold. Releasing the block to the right, releasing the block to the left. You can choose to walk your hands to your shins or your thighs, whatever works for you. Just a little standing fold as we work our way back to standing. Take your time when you're ready, standing all the way up. No rush. I found if I go too fast, I get dizzy. Take a minute, release the feet. You can choose any spot on your mat to stand. We're going to put our feet together. Normally we press our hands together, but this time we're going to interlace our fingers and have our pointer fingers together with our thumbs. So rising all the way up over the top, being as tall as we can be. Being as tall as we can be. We're going to side bend to your left. So that right hip's going to go out. The arms are moving to the left. Trying to make a crescent moon. Coming back to the middle, being tall as we can be. We're going to go to our rights. The hands are going to the right, the left hip's going to the left. Back up nice and tall. You know the shoulders are starting to burn a little bit. Moving your weight to your left foot. Half step back right. Wherever that right leg goes, I want the arms to go. So if the right leg is leaning at 15 degrees, then the arms go 15. If you decide you want to bring the arms down, then the legs got to come up. Wherever you want to go. Reversing the order. We're almost done with our arms, feet together. One more time on the other side. Left leg steps back, whatever line you'd like. Arms in line with the leg. Foot comes under, hands to the top, hands down, and shake. The shoulders are going. Right? Just holding your hands together and just holding your arms up. Shake it out for a minute. We will be working our way to the ground, so this is a natural progression. If you want water or you want to walk around, this is where we switch over to the groundwork. Bring that water over if you'd like. We do it all the time in the summer where we have our water sitting right next to us on the mat. We can reach over and grab it. When you're ready, working yourself all the way to seated, there's no rush to get there. We'll take the right foot out. The left foot is tucked in. We're going to work to turn our body and torso perpendicular to our right leg. Then our left arm goes out and our right arm goes out. And we're going to do that reaching again where we're nice and tall, like we just got done with this. Hinging forward from the waist, and you're reaching forward for whatever you can find. Could be your shin, could be ankles, it could be toes. Working to fold forward. Release the hands to each side of the leg, pushing into the ground or the mat. Push yourself back up to seated. Bring your hands back for just a second as you bring the left leg across. And then the right elbow comes in behind the left. So it's the hard side twist. And you turn. Yes. Release the elbow, placing your hands back for a second. We're going to turn that left leg to lay on top of the right thigh. Now, take a moment because sometimes our bodies don't like when the foot's on top. Find a bone on bone or something. You find it as best you can for comfort, and you're going to sit up tall. Arms to the side, reaching as tall as you can, and folding forward. You should realize you can't go as far as you just did. That foot is stopping you. Working yourself on either side of that right leg. Release that left leg. Take a moment, pedal those legs out. Pedal, pedal, pedal. Moving, moving, moving. When you're ready, slowing down the pedaling. Left leg stays, right leg goes in. Turning your body towards that left leg. Right arm out, left arm out. Rising up over the top. Coming forward, again finding a natural fold for you wherever that is. Releasing on each side of the left leg, beginning to push yourself back up to level. You bring the hands back, the right foot's going to come across. We're going to think about trying to get that left elbow behind the knee. Yep, that's it. Now twist to your right. Excellent job. Release the elbow. Take a moment to make the adjustments on that right foot, finding something or a spot where you can rest for just 10 or 15 seconds. Arms out to the side, up over the top, and begin to fold forward. Releasing the hold, allowing that leg to fall off gently. Take the bottom of our feet together for a butterfly. Just setting up the butterfly base. We're not going anywhere. We'll just sit up nice and tall. Releasing the hands and releasing the feet. Pull the right leg under, letting it slide naturally under the left knee, and then bring the left foot on top. If you can stack the legs, that's great. If you can't and you need to cross the ankles at the base, feel free, either one. Stacking the legs. You can place your hands on the knees and you can push down if you want, but naturally gravity is going to keep us working ourselves downwards, so just holding for a moment. Releasing so you can work the top leg off. Maybe you need two hands to remove it. You'll take the right leg out, bend that. The left leg starts to set under. The right leg comes around and works its way on top. These are really good stretches for people who like to walk, hike, run, get the top of those feet stretched. Hands, there we go. Pushing yourself up a little bit, releasing that right leg. We're going to work to both legs out in front, so working to kick out both legs. Apparently I did way too much running this week. My body is so sore. Oh. Sitting up tall, reaching out to the side, reaching up over the top, and folding forward. Again, you don't have to get your toes. You can find a spot that works for you. Slowly beginning to walk up your own legs or splitting out to the side, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to take our friend the foam roller here and bring it into play. We're going to start literally at the calves, which is a great place to start. We normally start seated. Starting at the calves, we'll walk through some variations to give you. So again, the easiest way is simply just pulling with the heel, the calf, going back to just under the knee and pushing back. You may not feel much in that roll because it's not a lot of pressure going on there. If you find something, just stay on it and keep rolling it. I will not get offended and you change the posture or you're doing something different. Now we can do the same thing that we have been doing and rotate just slightly. So you can still pull while you have a little twist to the left or right. See if there's anything that's hidden in those spots. You can go the other way. So it can be done without lifting up. Now, the lifting up mode gives you a little more weight on it and makes you have to dig a little deeper. So when you do lift up, take the time to rest. You don't have to stay up there for so long. You rest when you need to, you come back and you roll it through. It really is. The first few times you do it, you're like, I'm so tired. And months later, you're like, hey, that's not horrible. It's not bad anymore. Now with our lifting method, the same thing applies. We turn slightly to the left. You'll find just a little bit different of a sensation, left or right, depending on where you're holding in your calves. This type of foam rolling can also be done with a large softball or any kind of hard ball that you can put on the back of your calf and do it on the ground. So it can be done without a foam roller. Let's push up a little bit. Let's get ourselves to having our hamstrings on the foam roller. Like I said last week, there's not really any way that you can pull with your hamstring and make it work, so this is a lift, lifting and pulling through. So you start with some gentle rolling in those hamstrings. The same variation applies that we applied to the calves, so turning slightly left will change the angles on both hamstrings. When you feel like your hamstrings are complete, come up to sitting. You're like, that's how we normally start. I was like, yeah, today was different. We're going to kick out the left leg. Use your hands for balance as you go back. Take the right leg across so it's higher than the knee. And then post. It's going to happen. So stay, you're just going to come with your hands back and stay balanced. And extend that one leg first. And the other leg goes on top. That's it right there. Perfect. So this is the beginning point. Yeah, stay right there for a minute. You can keep it right here. You can keep some balance right there. What we're working on is rotating that glute into the foam roller. It's a common newspaper stretch from back when I used to read newspapers. You would hold it and you would just have to read. And it's very similar. Ultimately, where we're going to get to, and you'll get there in a little bit, is working to sit up. But for now, we'll just keep our hands back. Kicking out the leg. Let's go right leg out. Left leg across. Bend the knee. And come up. Roll in that side. Kicking out the leg. Both legs will go straight, beginning to slowly work that lower back. Again, your hands are getting less involved, but they're still lifting a little bit. So lower back. And you can begin to work to your middle back. Somewhere in your middle back is usually where the hands go, I don't want to be involved anymore. Because you wind up going so far wide that you can't use them anymore. Middle of your back, placing the hands wherever you'd like to have them go. Beginning to roll your upper back. When you're ready, taking the time to sit up, but you don't have to sit on the foam roller. You're like, ugh. So this foam rolling exercise that we just did, all of them can be done with your back against the wall. So if you can't lay down, you get some kind of vertigo where things are bothering you, you can put the foam roller against your back and do it standing up. So it's just another variation that you can do. We're going to set up with our heels down, leaning back. We're going to kick out that right leg again and bring that left across. So we're not on a foam roller this time, but we are going to raise up. So we're going to hold that figure 4, and then you're going to find points. Maybe you move the foot off just a little bit. You shift. Find points where you can stretch in here. When you're ready to release, remember to kick the leg out first. It'll make life so much easier. You really, left leg out, right leg on top, pushing yourself in, placing the hands where you need them. And again, moving the foot in the places that you need to find it. Maybe it's in the right hip, maybe it's in the glute, maybe it's the top of the right foot. Kicking out the leg. We're going to hold for a second. I'm going to let your wrist rest for a second. We're going to do the same setup, so that figure 4, but we're going to do it on our back. So you won't be able to see me, so I'm going to stand up to talk to you so you can hear me. But I'm going to show you first. So I'm all the way down. I did the same thing. I kicked out the leg comes up. My head and shoulders are down. This is how we're going to, I'll talk to you the rest of the way. So working yourself back, posting that one leg, so whatever leg you want to post. The other leg's laying across. Excellent. You're going to raise up your left leg and bring it towards you. You're going to reach. Yep, exactly. You knew exactly where I was going.
I know this pose. I do it quite often.
That's exactly where I was going. The variation on it is if you wrap around your shin, it gets a little tighter, but that's up to you. You'd be surprised how hard that was to explain to some people. Reach through the hole, wrap around, hold onto your hamstring. Slowly releasing, setting up the other side so you can take the right leg off. Right leg posts, left leg goes across. When you're ready, bring it into you. We're going to release the hold, have the leg repost, put both legs on the ground, and then we're going to bring both knees in and hug our knees as we're laying on our back. Hugging your knees as you're laying on your back. Release the right leg, walk that leg out straight. Release the left leg, walk that leg out. You can choose to bring your hands to your rib cage or your stomach, or you can reach them over your head. Move your feet a little bit, maybe your hands. When you're ready, seated. When you're ready, come back to seated. You did an amazing job today. So with the class, what I didn't tell you in the beginning is that all of our ab work was built into the poses. So thinking about how we had to balance, we had to engage our core. Even on our standing warrior twos, we're having to engage our core. So I wasn't going to set up an extra block. I wanted to see if you could find those fixed points and work them. So the next time you're trying poses, think about your core. Thank you for coming out on the holiday class. I look forward to seeing, are you coming again in January? Excellent.
Yeah, I haven't signed up yet.
Okay.
I would probably do January, February, March. I'm gone for several weeks, so I won't do
No worries. We will be working our new theme. We're going to be working on stillness within our poses. A lot of times we see people waving, so we're going to work to find peace in our poses in January.
So does that mean you're going to be holding them all?
They don't necessarily mean they're going to be holding. It's once you find whatever pose it is. How fast can you get still? And if I look around and people are still moving, we'll work on some more stillness. But that's our theme for January, is trying to find stillness and getting into our poses, clearing our minds, not focusing on everything else that's going on around us. So.
That's one reason I like yoga, because I have a tendency to have lots of stuff going on in my brain, and when I do yoga, I can't do that.
You can't.
Focus on what I'm doing.
if you even take it and do a single leg stand with the knee up like we did, and you do it someplace else, like a grocery store or something, and have to focus on that one thing, your attention becomes so narrowed in, you're like, I can get things done more efficiently and focused if I just dive into one moment. So I appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great week. Namaste.
So how long have you been doing yoga?
It started with karate back in 2005. We had a yoga instructor that was teaching very similar to what I do. It's ironic. So he was teaching me sun salutation, and I was like, oh, this is great stretching. And so I learned